Every time we have.
Hi everyone, I'm meteorologist Jared Heil here with TG Shuck on your 4th of July holiday. A tornado warning just issued, TG, for the southern part of the viewing area. It's going to go for about 15 minutes.
That's right, Adair County and over into Taylor County. We've been watching these severe thunderstorms in that area of southern Kentucky where we have the severe thunderstorm watch. Actually watching a bit of rotation with this cell that has been coming out of Greene County and moving into Adair and Taylor County. I think we had a little bit of damage in Greene County, and again, the signature on radar has been showing a little bit of rotation.
Fairly impressive. So let's take the radar full screen for you and show you what's going on. Notice it's right on top of Campbellsville, that leading edge of very heavy rain, and that red box indicating where the tornado warning is in effect. That's from Campbellsville south to the county line and then into immediate northern sections of Adair County. And here's our velocity mode, and what you can see here easily is the rotation showing up with this thunderstorm. Fairly tight right there where you had that shade of bright green. That's wind heading south. And you also have the green moving north and that very tight rotation across southern sections of Taylor County. Winds anywhere from 50 to 60 miles an hour in and of itself, but that potential for a tornado where the green and the red get very close to one another, again about 5 miles to the south of Campbellsville on Highway 55. As we pull out a little bit, let's get a vantage point on where that storm is in relation to the rest of the viewing area. It's in our southeasternmost counties. There's Lebanon, there's Campbellsville, Columbia just off toward the south. We're tracking this for you off toward the east at speeds of around 40 miles an hour, and that will take it into rural eastern sections of both Taylor and Adair counties. And if we can drop that, there we go. Mansville, Casey Creek over the next 7 minutes. Clementsville, 13 minutes to you. Dunnville, 21 minutes. Windsor and Middleburg in the next half hour. Be on the lookout for strong damaging winds, the potential also for a tornado. And you can really also see where the strongest part of the storm is located. That's where the intense lightning that's nearly continuous lines up from Greensburg to Campbellsville and right where that tornado warning has been issued. Also farther north, severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Lebanon, Bradfordsville, eastern sections of Marion, northeastern parts of Taylor County for wind gusts of 60 miles an hour or greater. As TG alluded to, we have had some strong wind reports, some damage on an isolated basis, and a lot of the reason for that is the amount of water that these storms are carrying gets so intense that gravity wins the war, and when the rain comes down so fast, that core drops, it carries a lot of wind with it, and that's why we've had some reports of some tree damage in some locations this afternoon and even yesterday as well, about the same environment as our Sunday. Here's the tornado situation that we have for you right now. Just south of Campbellsville by about 4 miles, right along Highway 55. You've got the red shooting south. That's the strong winds going away from the antenna at Fort Knox. Flow of warm air and green from the south coming around, and then where it gets very tight with the green and red pretty much right on top of one another. That's about 4 miles south of Campbellsville. That is the rotation that's showing up on radar. TG, let's track that individual segment right there just to a cone and go northeast with that. This is going to be the highest potential for a tornado with that storm as it pushes east and northeast. So this is going to eventually push out of the viewing area over the next 10 to 15 minutes. But for now, I tell you what, let's redo that track. Looks like the latest scan came in. That old scan was about 4 or 5 minutes old. So we'll just reset here, but if you're in those communities that was on the screen there a second ago, that's where that tornado threat appears to be heading toward. So just southeast now of Campbellsville, this broad area of rotation, we're tracking it northeast for you at around 40 miles an hour. Clementsville, Addison, Liberty, and Beach Bottom as it moves out of Taylor and into Casey County. That's where the potential is alive and well for a tornado over the next few minutes. And it does look like there are a couple of areas of rotation, one down here and then also farther north. TG, what have you heard from the Weather Service regarding this storm?
Just that the rotation is persistent and is strengthening, and it's heading into a better environment, thus the tornado warning being issued. So again, as you mentioned, it's right there kind of on the cusp of our viewing area right there in between Campbellsville and heading north of Columbia there in Adair County, and eventually will be, I believe, over heading toward the Casey County area as well.
And if we pull out a little, there's some pretty strong winds, not only there in Taylor and Adair counties, but just north shade of pink showing up right there south of Lebanon. You could argue that there's a little bit of broad rotation on the northern apex of that wind gust, but near Newmarket, Kentucky, right along Highway 68 there as it passes south of Lebanon toward Bradfordsville, you're going to see a strong wind gust of 50 to 60 miles an hour with that storm. Yeah, and that's why we have the severe thunderstorm warning that's been issued. TG is marking and querying this data to show you the winds of 50 to 60 miles an hour on radar, up around 4,000 feet or so, and you translate that down toward the ground, that's easily 50 to 60 mile an hour wind gusts that could be severe and cause some damage. Also keep in mind the ground getting increasingly wet, and it may not take quite as much to knock a tree over with the weakened root systems because of the wet ground in place. Also, wind gusts of 50 to 60 miles an hour farther south. This is right along the Taylor and Adair County line. There's Campbellsville just south of there. We'll go back to reflectivity, look at this storm on rainfall mode and kind of see what it looks like. A couple of notches showing up here in the reflectivity, one just east of Campbellsville by about 5 miles. A lot of times when we look in line segments for severe thunderstorms that could produce tornadoes, we look for these notches where the warm air comes in, cuts off the rain at the surface, but the storm aloft is rotating. That's one of the locations that a tornado could develop under. And then farther south, another one right there. So we have a couple of areas rotation immediately east and northeast now of Campbellsville, pushing in that direction. The tornado warning continues for another 8 to 10 minutes or so. And then farther north into Marion County, we have some strong gusty winds possible. The entire viewing area is showing what's going on all around us. We have some heavier downpours in Louisville, but nothing severe at this time. Could be a little bit of thunder and lightning possibly down toward the south end, close to the forest. North into Indiana, it's just general rain for today. Heavy rain east along the I-64, I-71 corridors, but nothing severe in those areas. So in Louisville, you can let down your guard. This is a weather threat for our southern counties and our southeastern counties for that matter. Tornado warning in effect for parts of Adair as well as Taylor counties. Lots of lightning and thunder. Let's do another track on that storm off toward the east at around 40 miles an hour. Granted, it's going to pass out of our viewing area shortly. Some of these locations will be outside of our TV market, but if you have us on cable, I realize that sometimes we're carried outside of our technical television market. So areas like Casey Creek, Clementsville, Dunsville, Liberty. Over the next 20 minutes, this storm headed for you. Strong gusty winds pushing through Bradfordsville and Lebanon over the next few minutes with just a wall of very heavy rain. TG, what do you have?
Still nothing from the Weather Service as far as damage reports. Of course, with all the heavy rain, got an aerial flood advisory, a localized flood advisory for Adair, Greene, and Taylor County for all this heavy rain, in addition to the potential for this possible tornado here. Got a lot of lightning, of lightning strikes, and again, very, very heavy rain, which could create some localized flooding here over the next hour or so. So definitely keep that in mind here as we go through. So we're at 3:39 Eastern, and again, the warning is set to expire here in about 5 minutes. So,
okay, and by that time, that storm is going to be out of the box, at least the tornado-producing portion of it. Mansville, that storm just south of you. If we can, TG, let's get in real tight here to eastern sections of Taylor County. We'll do a little bit of a street-level mapping and show folks some of the county roads.
It just updated, by the way.
Yeah.
That's the latest one. It's almost out of the county there.
So Highway 551, 76 there, Kentucky highways. Right along that county line, that's where you have some of that rotation. I have to tell you, it's a little bit more broad than it was, meaning it doesn't look as strong to me. If we pull out a little bit, TG, and go back in time with our timing bar at the top of the program there, want to show folks the progression of the strength of this storm over time. This was around a half hour ago. Notice this shade of green next to red. Fairly intense rotation. We'll go east, translate that further to around 3:20 or so. Notice how tight the rotation was about the time the warning was issued. We follow it forward over the next 5 to 10 minutes to around 3:35, and all of a sudden the reds become more prevalent. The inflow wind from the south, that being the green, is a little less intense, and that rotation has become more broad and weaker overall, which is some great news. And it even looks like, TG, while there is going to be a healthy wind gust, some of those shades of hot pink aren't showing up like they once were.
Absolutely, and just hearing from our newsroom that so far no reports of any damage anywhere across Greene County or into Adair or Taylor County with this storm right now. So hopefully just, again, precautionary more than anything based on what the radar data was showing. But as you were just talking about, it definitely had a much tighter signature within the last 10 to 15 minutes, and it seems to be a little more broad-based now.
Let's pull out one more time and look at that northern section of the cell. I think that's where the strongest winds are going to be right now. This is a severe thunderstorm warning zone. This is for parts of Bradfordsville, Lebanon, and Newmarket, Kentucky, Lebanon, and parts there of Marion County, the county seat. Of course, the strongest of the winds passing just south of you with this storm. 50 to 60 mile-an-hour winds passing through that part of Marion County. So if you're in Bradfordsville, just be sure to get inside, away from windows. Let that intense wind gust and very heavy rain, thunder, and lightning pass on through. We'll go back to reflectivity mode and start here and then just kind of pull out slowly and show you the vantage point of the viewing area eventually. Notice from Lebanon through Bradfordsville, south to Campbellsville, and through Adair County. That's where that very heavy rain, thunder, and lightning is. The red box, kind of hard to see it because of all the red precip. That's the tornado warning that we have at this time. And that storm, the leading edge of it, where a tornado would develop, if it were to do so, is going to move out of our viewing area over the next 60 seconds and out of that tornado warning box. As you can see, they have continued with the new tornado warning, and that's going to include northern parts of Adair County. TG, any thoughts from the Weather Service on why they extended that particular warning?
Yeah, they've just got a funnel cloud report out of the eastern part of Taylor County, so that's one of the reasons that they are extending that downstream, and again over out of the viewing area over into the western part of Casey County. So folks over there dealing with that.
If you want to, pull up the 3D Max radar on that other machine, and we'll switch over to that in a second. I want to just take a look at that radar source. It sometimes can be a little bit higher resolution, a little easier for us as meteorologists to see exactly where the most intense rotation is. And that's some of the newer technology we have here at WHAS-11. So we'll switch over there, show you that storm on 3D Max Doppler radar. Here it is for you. Campbellsville, Nifley, Columbia. The leading edge of the storm is going to push through northern Adair County. If we go to velocity mode, there is your rotation right there. Granted, this is around 50 to 60 miles away from the radar, so sometimes it's a little bit harder to see the rotation. But it's there. It's not intense. It's not strong. If this were to produce a tornado, it's going to be likely an EF0 or an EF1. But the fact that we did have a report there across parts of Taylor County of a funnel cloud is why we're still with you as this passes through the far northern part of Adair County. So right on the Casey, Taylor, Adair County line, 50 to 60 mile-an-hour winds. There's that pink pixel there that TG is pointing out for you.
It's about 5,000 feet.
So at the very least, you're going to have a strong wind gust passing through that part of the viewing area. Again, this is around 60 to 70 miles south of Louisville, closer to Tennessee than it is here to us in the city. So in the metro, no issues. This is our southernmost counties. Tornado warning in effect. It's all clear for Campbellsville as far as a tornado potential. We'll go back to reflectivity, TG, and I want to show folks what's going on in Campbellsville. The rain continues, but even the heaviest of that rain is going to shift out of central Taylor County and into the eastern part of Taylor County and northern Adair County over the next few minutes. As it moves east, it will pass out of Adair County shortly, and that will likely be the end of our tornado warning threat. Maybe even for the rest of this Independence holiday. And there's our weather service. Let's go back to Max HD radar if we can. And it looks to me like we're not seeing a whole lot of reports. I'm just trying to read there while we had it up. Live television, folks, that's the way it goes for us. Lightning and thunder continues. The tornado warnings are in effect just east of Campbellsville. But it looks to me like if there were to be a tornado developing, it's going to be now moving out of our viewing area and into Casey County.
Expired.
They expired the warning?
They have expired that warning.
Okay.
Of course, the other one that's kicked into Casey County continues, but the one...
But it looks to me like that threat, even though that warning is in effect for parts of Adair County, maybe the highest threat of a tornado is going to be just north of Adair County. Wouldn't you agree, TG?
Absolutely. And taking a look at the, again, the velocity data, again, it's literally just right there on the Adair County, Casey County line. So it is moving out of the viewing area here rapidly and should be winding things down here.
With that in mind, if you have any reports, send them to us. Your photos at WHAS11.com. We're both on Twitter and Facebook as well. Very easy to find. Just search for us there. If we